Welcome to Sailing in the Mediterranean and Beyond podcast. I'm your host. My name is Franz. Welcome back to Sailing in the Mediterranean and Beyond. This is going to be a short episode, and it's a little different from my usual sailing stories. First, I want to thank you for listening to me over the years. It's been about 13 years that this podcast has been out there, and it's been a pleasure sharing my sailing adventures, whether crossing the Atlantic or sailing in the Mediterranean, or just sharing things that I've learned along the way. Many of you know me as a sailor, and although I was a sailor, I also worked in my day job, which was a registered investment advisor and portfolio manager. Throughout that time, I became fascinated with a simple question. Why do financial markets behave the way they do? The more I studied markets, the more I became convinced that the answer often comes down to one word: incentives. And that led me to launch a brand new podcast called Markets Without Spin. This isn't a show about stock tips or trying to predict what the market will do next. There are already plenty of podcasts that do that. Instead, I look at the forces operating behind the scenes. Why do companies buy back stock? Do executive compensation plans really align management with shareholders? How is passive investing changing today's markets? What really happens when the market liquidity disappears? And what history can teach us about the financial system we have today? My goal is simply to help listeners better understand how markets work and why intelligent people sometimes make decisions that produce unexpected results. I've always believed that good sailors and good investors have something in common. Both have to understand the forces they can't control, avoid emotional decisions, and think several moves ahead. That's really what Markets Without Spin is all about. If those topics sound interesting, I'd love you to give the podcast a try. I put a link in the show notes, or you can simply search Markets Without Spin wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't worry, Sailing in the Mediterranean and Beyond isn't going anywhere. I'll still be sharing more sailing adventures in future episodes. In fact, I'm currently organizing a new sailing sub-club at the Alta Club here in Salt Lake, and we're planning a charter in Greece or Turkey next August. If you're interested in learning more, while you can't join the Alta Club itself, there's always the possibility of organizing a separate charter for listeners. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, send me an email directly to me at franz and then the number 1 at medsailor.com. Again, that's franz1 at medsailor.com, medsailor.com. And I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. Whether I see you on the water or over at Markets Without Spin, I really appreciate your support. Thanks for listening. This is Franz Amundsen. Life is short. In the end, all that really matters is the memories you make. So make a few. Go sailing.
Joel, you want to know something? What? Every now and then, say what the gives you freedom. Freedom brings opportunity. Opportunity makes your future. If you can't say it, you can't do it.